I'm here with Coach Lori Riffice from USTA Player Development. Lori is not only a player development coach, she's also a tennis mom and has a child playing college tennis. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk to you, Lori, about what USTA Player Development is doing these days in terms of player ID, in terms of parent education, where you see things heading, and then we're going to touch on Sam and his college experience.
All right. Well, I think right now player development is a really exciting time. When I wasn't involved as a national coach, it was like a little bit confusing, like what are we doing this year, what programs are there this year. But the reason behind that is because every time after the Open, we go back and we talk about, okay, where do we need to see our young juniors developing? This is what we've seen at the high level, and we try to improve our program. So we're constantly trying to figure out maybe the areas that we can do better at. So that's the first thing. With Player ID under our director, Kent Canero, we have a lot of exciting things going on because we've increased the number of sectional camps that we have done for the sections. And so that allows us to not only see more top juniors from each section, but also hopefully talk to more parents across the nation and help them navigate the junior pathway, which is always so challenging to do.
Yeah, it sure is. And so for those parents that are watching this, there's a lot of confusion about how your child gets, quote, tapped for these camps or player development or gets noticed. Can you clear up some of the rumors and misinformation?
I'd be happy to, because I think that's the number one thing that we spend time explaining. And so, each section has a player development manager. They might title it something different, but they're in charge of their player development of their section.
Okay.
And then also each section has a coaches commission. They're comprised of the top coaches that are in their section, and so they meet regularly over who are some juniors that are maybe making some late improvements, maybe showing a lot of potential. And then, so every year when when they come up with the dates that work for their sectional camps, we have a joint call, Player ID and the staff, and they present us with the names of the players that have stood out in their section.
Okay.
So the
stood out in terms of winning tournaments, or
it could be a couple different things. We really don't look at the girls that are winning the tournaments only.
Okay.
But we do what each commission does is they look at the different players that maybe have shown improvement. So for instance, maybe has lost always against a player, now they're beating that player.
Okay.
Or maybe they've heard of that player doing some really fantastic things. Maybe she had a growth spurt. Maybe she's able to do things, or maybe she's mature enough that she's really handling the concepts that the coaches are teaching to her. So really, the kids that are winning the local tournaments, of course, they get noticed and they get invited. But it's the girls that are battling in the back draw, or it's the girls that are really making improvements that also get noticed too.
Because one of the things that coaches are constantly talking about when I interview them is wins and losses don't matter. It's about development, especially at the young age. And parents, you need to get away from focusing on wins and losses. But traditionally, when you look at who is being selected for USTA special treatment, and I'm using air quotes, y'all can't see me, it is the kids that are winning the tournaments. And so how do you reconcile that as a parent? And you went through this with your own kid.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one, and I guess the reality of the situation is that some of the kids that are winning the tournaments, they're good, and they deserve some extra treatment, building relationships with their private coaches. I can tell you 2 years ago, I saw a girl lose all 4 rounds at the hard courts, and she was on the junior world team this year as a 14-year-old representing America. So it's not only the girls that win get noticed, but the girls that are playing the right way, and I'm a firm believer in learning tennis the right way and playing the right style, they stand out. And those are the ones that we try to notice, you know, and can we be everywhere at once and watch these players? No, but we do rely on the sections and the coaches commission to say, hey, I really like this player, she has a lot of potential, our coach is all in, their parents want to do the best for her, she's learning how to play tennis the right way, you know, can we invite her even though she hasn't got the results, you know, and then we always support that, and we try and follow up with that. So, you know, it's not a perfect system, but it is a system that we keep trying to improve, and we do throw out a lot of potential, a lot of invites to kids with potential. We like to have a really big base at the bottom, and in the 12 and 13 and sometimes 14 age group, we can do that on the girls and the boys side.
That's awesome. And so what is the parents' role here? I mean, should parents be calling their sectional player ID person and introducing themselves and their player? Do you want the parents to back off and just let you guys do the work and find these kids? I mean, is it something in between?
Yeah. Well, you know, I always encourage parents to be good consumers. You know, they're out there every day, they're taking their kids somewhere, or spending money on travel, and I encourage parents to get to know their sectional staff. Introduce themselves to the player development manager, and introduce themselves to this is my daughter, this is my son. You know, we'd really like some opportunities that you might have in your section. I know maybe she's not there yet, but if someone cancels last minute, we'll be there. You know, something like that. And then I also encourage coaches to really, parents to really trust their coaches. You know, and that takes a lot of communication. And I think it's perfectly fine for parents to talk to coaches about things. Maybe not all the time, maybe not at the end of their lesson, but set up a monthly appointment, a bi-monthly appointment, and just, you know, here, are we playing the right tournaments? You know, is my son or daughter progressing? What do you want us to do at home? You know, get the coach's view, because a lot of times coaches have really, really good advice. It's just sometimes it's not getting communicated to each parent. But I would encourage that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this whole kind of feeling that American juniors are soft, and you know, we hear it in relation to college recruiting and why there's so many international players on college teams now. And you know, the college coaches, several of them have come out and said, you know, we just can't, there aren't enough good American juniors to fill our rosters. What's your response to that?
Well, we are in a generation right now where our kids, the parents are called the snowplow generation. Parents are known for pushing obstacles out of kids' way, and so we are trying to change the culture with our parents, with our parent education, with our juniors. It's not only happening in tennis, it's happening across the nation in other sports, other youth sports. We're proud to say that at tennis we're holding our youth in. They're still playing. It's a culture. We're not sure the ultimate reason why, but we know that at least from player development that it's a message that we're trying to get across. And we've seen some great examples of kids that have strived through maybe a home support system that maybe caters to their needs versus that. The number one thing actually that we want to see parents do is let their kids fail.
Right. And
you can't always let your kids fail. You can't let them fail in school, let the competition go to college, you can't let them fail at sectional tournaments because you want them to win. But really that's what's going to harden our athletes versus encourage them to be soft.
Failing and being held accountable for consequences,
yes,
right?
Yes,
because that's another really big issue, I feel like. We bail our kids out too often, and we don't teach them how to handle adversity, and you know.
No, you're absolutely right. And our head of women's tennis, Ola Monquist, since I'm a national coach for girls 12s, one of the things that he really wants me to push across the message is that we need our girls to be more professional.
Right.
We need them to accept accountability, accept responsibility, take care of their own needs, and oftentimes because they're making decisions, they fail, but in a healthy way,
right?
In a good way, so they can learn from it. Because when they're out there playing matches, they have to problem solve on their own. Right now at the junior US Open,
I was going to say not this week.
Coaching, but you know, at the junior US Open, at the qualifying for the US Open, we're kind of experimenting with coaching.
How do you feel about it?
Well, it's good and bad. I mean, we are trying to get our kids to problem solve. However, we look at this tournament as a learning learning experience. So if we can help our player learn something that they can apply at the next tournament, then great. We're going to use it to our advantage. I mean, it's one step in their journey of becoming a tennis player.
It's interesting. I was asking some college coaches how they felt about the Encore Coaching, and none of them like it. They were all against it, which I thought was an interesting perspective, given that they are allowed to coach on the court, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm a fan of on-court coaching in practice, and but in a tournament situation, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's our sport. You're out there and you're supposed to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hear what you're saying about helping them, and they're young, and we want them to learn and get better for sure. Yeah. One other thing I wanted to touch on, and I know you're busy, so I'm gonna let you go, but your son's playing in college now. Was that a tough decision to make, sending him to college, or for him to choose to go to college versus turning pro? Because a lot of his group decided not to go that route.
Yeah, well, it definitely took some thinking. It wasn't something that was made quickly, but it was my son's choice, and he felt he wasn't at the spot physically, mentally, in order to turn pro. That he needed to grow more. We say go in the oven and cook a little more.
Yeah.
And so he's very fortunate. He feels very blessed to go to University of Florida, and he has still the same desire to turn pro as soon as possible, but it's when he's ready.
Yeah.
So we just feel fortunate that he's still on his pathway and still loves tennis.
Well, great. Good luck. I look forward to watching him compete this year, and it's a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. My pleasure.
Attention press.